mo mà kí lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin lọ́mọdé lágbà nínú ilé yìí mo kí wa pé a kú déédé àsìkò yìí àsìkò bójú ọjọ́ ti rí o ẹ káàbọ̀ sí ìkànnì bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ tv BGI TV ibẹ̀ náà la wà à ń jẹ́ BGI TV lórí YouTube gbàgede ìmọ̀ with aláwìyé adébáyọ̀ lórí Facebook bákan náà ni pé gbàgede ìmọ̀ _22 lórí Instagram àgbẹ̀yìn lórí TikTok náà o bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ là ń jẹ́ ń bẹ́ẹ̀ lónìí àrà ọ̀tọ̀ látúngbé jáde o torí pọ̀ ní gangan ló pé 30 ọdún tí bàbá wa Táíwò Solarin ẹni tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀ sí bàbá Àkẹ́nẹ́ tí wọ́n dá Mayflower School Ìkẹ́nẹ́ sílẹ̀ ẹni ló pé 30 ọdún gẹ́gẹ́ tí wọ́n filẹ̀ ṣaṣọ́bóra o a fẹ́ sọ fún wa lórí ìtàn àti ìgbésí ayé bàbá Táíwò Solarin fídíò tẹ́ wò yìí ó náà ní sọ lórí báwo ni ìgbésí ayé bàbá Táíwò Solarin ṣe rí o kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ kí ni wọ́n gbáyé ṣe àwọn wo ni wọ́n mọ̀ nípa bàbá Táíwò Solarin gbogbo wọn náà la rí tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa wọn ọmọ wọn ni àwọn ará iléèwé wọn àwọn tí wọ́n ti kàwé gboyè nínú iléèwé wọn àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ olùkọ́ àgbà nínú iléèwé wọn gbogbo wọn náà la kúkú bá sọ̀rọ̀ o ẹ máa bá mi kálọ ẹ wá nǹkan fìdílé tàbí kẹ fìdílé nǹkan kẹ wá gbádùn ètò tuntun tá a ṣe lórí bàbá wa Táíwò Solarin.
ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ìtàn ni mo mọ̀ wípé ẹ ti gbọ́ nípa Táíwò Solarin. ǹjẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ wípé ìbejì náà ni ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Táíwò Solarin? ẹ jẹ́ ń ṣàlàyé lónìí ráńpẹ́ fún yín o. ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Táíwò Solarin tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ènìyàn rẹ̀ ń pè ní Uncle Tai labí ní 20 oṣù kẹjọ ọdún 1922 sí ìlú kan tí a ń pè ní Ìkẹ́nẹ́ èyí tó wà ní apá Rẹ́mọ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn. láàrin ọdún 1937 sí ọdún 1941 wọ́n jẹ́ olùkọ́ ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ kan tí wọ́n pè ní Methodist Primary School ilé tó wà ní Nàgóyà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn. lẹ́yìn ìgbà náà wọ́n fi ìgbà kan ti jẹ́ typist iyún àwọn tí wọ́n máa ń tẹ̀wé fún ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò ẹnu bodè ilẹ̀ wa ìyún custom. nígbà tó di oṣù karùn-ún ọdún 1942 ni wọ́n gbéra lọ sórílẹ̀-èdè England ìyún orílẹ̀-èdè ọba láti lọ darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn Royal Force. lásìkò ìgbà yìí òun náà ni ogun àgbáyé kejì ló bẹ́ jáde. lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n ṣe gbogbo tán ní ṣe tán bẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ni wọ́n fi bẹ̀lẹ̀ ní oṣù kẹrin ọdún 1945. lásìkò yìí ni wọ́n ń gbìyànjú àti kàwé kún ìwé. wọ́n kàwé ní University of Manchester lọ́dún 1946 wọ́n sì gba àwọn àmì ẹ̀yẹ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ kódà ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ní University of Manchester yìí wọ́n gba ìwé ẹ̀rí wípé wọ́n kàwé yege lórí ẹ̀kọ́ nípa ìtàn ìyún history. lọ́dún 1950 náà wọ́n kàwé wọ́n gba àmì ẹ̀yẹ àti ìwé ẹ̀rí ìmúyege nípa ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ìyún education ní ìlú London náà bákan náà. láwọn àsìkò tí mò ń sọ yìí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Táíwò Solarin ìyún ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Táíwò Solarin wọ́n ti fi ìgbà kan kọ́ èdè Yorùbá láwọn ìlú kankan tí kì í ṣorílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí tẹ̀ ń ṣe ìlú Yorùbá. ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Táíwò Solarin padà sórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà kó tó padà sórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà yìí ni wọ́n ti fi aya látọ̀hún o. aya wọn arábìnrin Sheila ló tẹ̀lé wọn wá sórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lọ́dún 1951. lọ́dún 1951 tí wọ́n dé sórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà yìí ọdún náà ni wọ́n ríṣẹ́ o gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórí olùkọ́ ìyún principal ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ girama kan tí wọ́n pè ní Molusi College tó wà ní Ìjẹ̀bú Igbó. ní oṣù kínní ọdún 1955 bàbá Táíwò Solarin kọ̀wé fipò lẹ̀ o. ọdún tó tẹ̀lé ní oṣù kínní ọjọ́ 27 ọdún 1956 ní bàbá Táíwò Solarin pawọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìyàwó rẹ̀ ìyún Solarin Sheila tí wọ́n dá ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gbajúgbajà tí gbogbo èèyàn mọ̀ sí Mayflower ni wọ́n dá sílẹ̀ ní ìlú Ìkẹ́nnẹ́. Bàbá Táyé Solarin wọ́n jẹ́ principal fún ilé ẹ̀kọ́ Mayflower ọ̀hún fún odindi 20 ọdún gbáko. Àti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ àtòpin bàbá Táyé Solarin èyí tí wọ́n jáde láyé ní ọjọ́ 17 oṣù keje.
ṣé Yorùbá bọ̀ wọ́n ní bínákú afẹ́rú bojú bọ́kẹ̀dẹ̀ kú afọmọ rẹ̀ rọ́pò. Bàbá Táíwò Solarin ejò rẹ̀ tó kọjá lórí àpáta ó mà nípa. Bàbá Táyé Solarin bí àwọn ọmọ ò sí ayé lélẹ́yìí tí kan nínú wọn jẹ́ arábìnrin Kọrin Solarin lẹ́ni tó jẹ́ ọmọ wọn lóbìnrin. Ọmọbìnrin náà mà sọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀kùn lórí ta ni bàbá rẹ̀ gan. Báwo ni iléèwé tí bàbá náà dá sílẹ̀, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ tí bàbá wa fi dá iléèwé sílẹ̀? Ọmọ bàbá Táyé Solarin mà sọ nípa bàbá rẹ̀ ilẹ̀kùn, ohun tó sọ òun náà rèé o.
Hello everyone, I'm Corin Solarin, the firstborn daughter of Dr. Taye Solarin. We are going towards the 30th anniversary of the death of the late Papa Taye Solarin, which will be precisely on July 27th of this year. It will have marked 30 years that he has been gone. He's gone, but he's certainly not forgotten. There are thousands of ex-Mays, as they are called, who idolize and revere the impact that he had upon their lives. And I too, I revere him for the impact that he had upon me and upon my life and development.
All right. Okay, now let us start from here. Who is Baba Taye Solarin?
Well, Papa Taye Solarin is a native of Ikenne, well, a transplanted but native of Ikenne. So he founded Mayflower School on the outskirts of Ikenne, on top of a hill, which I think you all traveled to get here. Sure. And it was founded in 1956 with the full cooperation of the students who were in the school. The students built the structures that they first lived in. They built the first classrooms. They were Papa Taye was very independent and taught the students to be very independent. There were no buildings here. The first classrooms had palm thatch roofs, and it was a very, very rugged environment, which is why you will meet ex-Mays all over the world who are very, very independent, self-reliant, because of the training that they received here at Mayflower.
Okay, my next question is this. How did Baba Taye Solarin start his own life? Before he now moved to establish Mayflower, can you just tell us how he started his own life? We got to know that Baba Taye Solarin was a former principal of a particular school before. What happened before he now moved to establish Mayflower?
I think Papa was a product of the Second World War in Europe and post-Second World War in Europe. Papa was a very independent man, and he was not a very religious man. He was the principal of Mulusi College in Agoiwe, and ran into problems fairly early on with the administration because he did not want to force students to go to church. He believed students should have the right to choose whether they were going to go to church, to mosque, or whatever they wanted to do in terms of their religious and spiritual development. So early on, he ran into problems at Mulusi College, although he's still revered at Mulusi College, but he decided to found his own school where he could promulgate these ideas that he had about religious freedom, about independence for students. So that is how Mayflower came about. For those of us who don't know where the name Mayflower came from, Papa named Mayflower after the first ship that carried pilgrims to the New World, that is to America, from Europe, because they were undergoing lack of religious freedom in Europe. So they boarded the Mayflower ship to go to the Americas. And so Papa picked the name Mayflower School for that reason, because he felt like he was going out on a ship, taking his students on a journey where they would have the freedom to choose their religion, their freedom to practice the religion they wanted to practice, which really should be the ideal in Nigeria. We're a pluralistic society. You have the right to have the religion you want. So that was the guiding principle behind which he left Mulusi College and came to found Mayflower School.
And now should I ask that, does that mean that is what makes Papa to be an activist?
Well, it's part of it. The fact that he believed that people had the right to be free and to be independent. He also had a very, very deeply ingrained belief that people in Nigeria should deserve the best treatment. His activism spanned things like, if he passed somewhere, and we've all done it, we're all in Nigeria, and you see a dead body, a corpse on the road, our tendency is, well, we say a prayer and we keep walking. Papa, if he met a dead body in a kenne or environs, would put the corpse in the back of one of the school vehicles and carry it to the local police station. He was well known for that. If you talk to ex-Mays, many of them can verify this story. They were in the vehicle with him.
Won't they accuse him of?
No, they don't. In those days, they would say, Daddy, please don't bring this body here. What are we going to do? But he would do that because he felt so strongly that a human being has an innate dignity and should not be left just to die on the side of the road like a goat. So he carried dead bodies to the police station. He was active in a lot of areas. He was somebody who did not drink alcohol at all throughout his life. But he was an advocate for those people making ogogoro. Why? Because he wanted Nigerians to make their own alcohol. He didn't want us to be buying Johnny Walker and to be importing. So he became very, very beloved by the Ogogoro Sellers Union. His activism he also wrote a newspaper column for years with the Daily Times, which you young people will not remember, but the Daily Times years ago, he wrote a weekly newspaper column and would highlight things the government had done that he didn't like, or would highlight things that he saw that he didn't like. And it got him into trouble for years. In fact, to the extent that he was always being called in by the police, but the government would not like something he has written. He had a bag near the door. He would tell Mommy, bring my bag, they've come to arrest me again. And he would be carried away because of his activism. He was jailed numerous times. He was eventually jailed and ended up, I think he was in prison for 17 months, which took a terrible toll on his health. He was imprisoned in Jos in northern Nigeria. The heat was tremendous, but he never let it stop him. He even though he knew he would be imprisoned for what he had to say, he would still say it. And I wish we, younger generation, we had the courage he had, because he would speak out. I don't know what Papa would say, what Dr. Solarin would say if he was in the country today and saw the sort of inequities that we have going on in our country today. It's difficult to imagine how he would.
All right, man. During those days, being the first daughter, how do you feel then?
How did I fit in?
Yes.
Well, I didn't know any different. Just we are all living in our parents' homes, and we are used to how our parents do things. I really enjoyed living with Papa because it was always an adventure.
You enjoy living with Papa. Do you enjoy the way he always does with the government, the way they always come to arrest him? Are you okay with that?
I had nothing but the greatest respect for him because that was how, I knew that was how Papa was. He was non-changing. The fact that he had something to say and he stood up for his beliefs was irrevocable. There was nothing like begging Papa to not speak if he saw something that was wrong.
Really?
Yes. He would speak out. He would always, whatever he knew was right, he would speak out in favor of, and generally in favor of the disenfranchised Nigerians, the poor, those who are suffering a lot in this country. Those were his special people that he cared about.
All right, everybody was shouting, Papa Taishulani, Papa Taishulani. Can we know about Mama Taishulani, which happens to be your own mother?
Of course. Behind every great man is a great woman.
Sure.
And Sheila Mary Pure was a great woman. Papa served in the British Royal Air Force towards the end of the Second World War in Europe.
Okay.
That is how he met Mama in the UK.
Okay, the UK.
And decided then and there that he was going to marry her. She did not have a degree when he met her. He told her, I cannot marry somebody without a degree. She went back to school. She finished her degree. She came to Ikene and lived the majority of her life in this Ikene environment. She was highly loved, highly respected.
Okay, Baba brought her to Nigeria.
Yes, she came to Nigeria in 1951. And she was here until the end of her life. She would briefly...
She was here till the end of her life?
Yes. She was always here at Mayflower School, devoted her life to education, to training people, to teaching children, adult literacy. She had an interest in gender equality. She had an interest in women's rights. She often...
That's what I'm about to ask you. I'm about to ask that, did they work hand to hand? Maybe Mama Taishulani support the husband or not?
Absolutely. As I said, when we were discussing this, behind every great man is a great woman. Sorry. A great man cannot succeed without the support of a great woman behind him. They worked side by side. I don't think she felt like, Oga will do this, Oga will do that. They worked hand in hand. They would have disagreements. They would settle their disagreements and they would move on. But there was never anything like, I've come from I've come from London. I'm not used to this style of life. I'm going to go back. Never. Mama committed from the time she met him, and she spent her entire life in Nigeria, and she gave it her all.
All right. Are you the only?
No, I have a junior brother, Tunde.
Okay.
So they only had 2 issues.
Okay. So
there's just the 2 of us.
Okay.
So we jointly run the Mayflower School Association. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me now ask this question to round it up. Do Baba join politics when?
I think even back many years, even in the 1960s, Papa was not a political man, because to become a politician, there are some things you have to do that Papa could not do.
Okay.
Papa was briefly in government. He was appointed to the People's Bank.
Yes.
And he didn't last long there, because he had to sacrifice the principles that were so dear to him. So he didn't stay in politics. He never was in politics.
About the appointment, maybe I want you to please expatiate very well on that, because there is some history, or there are some stories that is quite different from the one I'm hearing now, that Baba got an appointment because he is challenging those people in government then, because they are not doing the right thing to the teacher. So maybe they now appoint Baba to that bank. So let us see what Baba can do. Maybe the government has said maybe Baba couldn't do what he's supposed to do. Maybe that's the reason why he resigned.
Well, I think if you talk to ex-mays, especially if you talk to older ex-mays who are close to Baba, people who were in school before 1994 when he passed away, people who were in school like 85, 89, 87, they'll be able to tell you that, and there's a lot of misinformation about that, that Papa was looking for a job with People's Bank. I've been in the US and had people come to me and say, Shebi, he was able to take a lot of money from People's Bank, which is completely false. It was the government, it was the president at the time who came to beg him to join People's Bank. It was not a matter of, Papa was already retired. He didn't have any interest in going into politics. He didn't have any interest in being in the bank, but they persuaded him that it was going to be a benefit to our lower income citizens, that they would be able to get loan, microfinance loan and this and that. And based on that, he joined the bank. But I think by the time he had been there and seen some of the things, the atrocities that went on in the bank, he became concerned and decided that his reputation was not worth spoiling because of this bank, and he withdrew. There's a lot of people saying, well, he should have stayed there and tried to change the system. He chose not to. He chose to not be a part of a system that he found to be very, very flawed.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Based on Papa's life, what do you have to tell the government? What do you have to tell the Nigerians? What do you have to tell the ex-mates and the current Mayflower students?
Well, I think probably the main audience for this interview today will be ex-mates. And I've said to ex-mates before, many ex-mates do come around. It is not the infrastructure of the school that is the legacy of Papa. The legacy of Papa is something that is inside of me. It's something that is inside of ex-mates. And there are ex-mates all over the world. There are ex-mates in Australia, the United States, all over Europe, Japan. There is nowhere that they're not ex-mates. And the ex-mates, what they got from Papa was not something that can be burnt by a fire or stolen by a thief. It is something that is inside of us and has encouraged and driven so many ex-mates to excellence in their fields all around the world. So what I have to say to ex-mates is, let us keep up the spirit. The buildings are important, and I give a lot of credit to the ex-mates who have donated generously to build up both the public school and the private school. But above and beyond the buildings, it is the legacy that lives within ex-mates. Papa has been gone 30 years. That is almost 1.5 generations of people ago. But that spirit lives on, and I just want to encourage us ex-mates and Nigerians as a whole, let us remain honest, hardworking, optimistic, intelligent, and driven as we all are as Nigerians around the world, because we ultimately are going to succeed in any field. But let us be upright, let us be honest, let us be truthful people who can be proud of ourselves wherever we go in life.
All right, thank you very much. Let everybody know you once again.
Once again, my name is Solarin. I am Dr. Tai Solarin's first and only daughter, and it's been a pleasure to have the opportunity to expound on a few things.
Àṣàìbá ẹni tó jẹ́ ọ̀gá àgbà pátá ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ Mayflower School ìlú Ìkẹ́nnẹ́, àṣàìbá wọn náà sọ̀rọ̀ ó tà sí bábọ̀ lánàá aráta gbọ́ lẹ́nu arábìnrin Mrs. Olúbùnmi Matilda Ọláyínká Oyèkán, ohun tá a gbọ́ lẹ́nu wọn rèé.
Dr. Tai Solarin, by history, we're made to understand, started as a principal at Mulusi College, Ijebu, where he was doing well. And I think from there he conceived the idea of, I can also do this. Okay. So he conceived the idea of starting his own school. We learned he got the name from one of the sailors, one of the men that sailed from the US, and in a boat they called Mayflower. So he got the name from there. I think he got fascinated, and he came over here with the permission of his mentors and the state government. He established Mayflower School. The school was founded in year 1956. 1956.
Yeah. Okay.
So, in the next 2 years, the school will be 70 years.
70 years. Yeah. Wow.
Dr. Tai Solarin was here with his wife, Madam Sheila. And they were both educationists. They were both in doing what they had passion for, bettering the lives of people. And after a while, he handed over the school to the government. So what we have today is Mayflower School, owned and managed by the Ogun State government.
The Ogun State government.
Under the Ogun State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology.
Okay. All right, thank you very much now. Bí a ṣe wá ń palẹ̀mọ́ sílẹ̀ fún ọgbọ̀n ọdún eléyìí tí bàbá tí wọ́n ti jáde láyé. This is my question again. Àwọn ọmọ tá a wá nínú ilé ẹ̀kọ́ Mayflower lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí foundation tí bàbá tí wọ́n fi sílẹ̀ láti lè jà fún ẹ̀tọ́ àwọn èèyàn pàápàá jùlọ when it comes to education. Nítorí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìtàn tá a gbọ́ wípé nígbà tí bàbá fa ilé ẹ̀kọ́ sílẹ̀ nígbà tí wọ́n gbọ́ nípa free education nígbà ayé bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ ni wọ́n fi fa ilé ẹ̀kọ́ sílẹ̀. Báwo ni àwọn ọmọ Mayflower báwo ni wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe dáadáa sí?
Ó lágbára, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ẹ ò lè sọ nípa bí àwọn ọmọ ṣe ń ṣe sí nílé ìwé ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà kẹ́ má dárúkọ Mayflower School.
Kí ni ìdí mà?
Nítorí Ọlọ́run ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ wípé àfi tí ọmọ ò bá gba bíbà yìí kọjá. Ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ aládarí wa lónìí wọ́n jẹ́ ẹni tó kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ láti ilé ìwé. A ní wọn káàkiri lókè lọ́wọ́. And the foundation yẹn náà ló jẹ́ kí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ṣẹ́rí ní Mayflower táwa yìí. Àwa gangan ni ọmọ Nàìjíríà rere. A ní wọn láti Rivers State, láti Delta State, a ní wọn láti Kano. Yes, láwọn ọmọ tó ń kàwé níbi.
So people come from far.
All over Nigeria. A ní wọn láti Republic of Benin. A ní ọmọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí láti Cameroon. Gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ti kàwé jáde ń bí ọ̀pọ̀ wọn àwọn grandparents wọn bàbá ìyá bàbá náà sọ pé school yẹn làwọn fẹ́ káwọn ọmọ àwọn lọ.
Kí ni ìdí mà?
Ìdí ni iṣẹ́ tí Ọlọ́run ràn wá lọ́wọ́ láti ṣe ní Mayflower School. Ní Mayflower School níbí kì í ṣe ìwé nìkan là ń kọ́. À ń kọ́ nípa ká mójútó ọmọ. À ń kọ́ nípa bí ọmọ ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ múra sí. Ìtòlóyìnbó pè ní total education. We offer total education that has to do with training, academics, morals, giving them instructions, teaching them to learn to be independent on their own. So kì í ṣe ká kàn lọ sí class ká kọ́ wọn nìkan o pass àbí o pass. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n ti kàwé tán níbí tí wọ́n ṣoríire ló padà tí wọ́n á ṣiṣẹ́ níbí báyìí tí wọ́n wá ń bùkún wa tí wọ́n ń bless wa pé àwọn fẹ́ ṣe báyìí àwọn fẹ́ ṣe báyìí. And many of them wọ́n ròyìn pé bàbá late Dr. Solarin ó lágbára gan, ó mú wọn kábákábá gan. In fact ọ̀pọ̀ nǹkan tí àwọn ẹlòmíì ò lè ṣe bàbá máa tì wọ́n sí.
Láti ṣe.
Wọ́n náà máa ń ṣe kinní kan tó ń pè ní endurance weekend. Wọ́n máa lọ sínú igbó bàbá bá ní kán lọ sínú.
Òpin ọ̀sẹ̀ ìpamọ́ra.
Fúnra yes kán lọ fúnra wá nǹkan tó máa jẹ. Àwọn ló máa ṣiṣẹ́ ló máa woko náà máa pẹ̀rọ tó máa ṣẹ́. So ó kọ́ wọn ní resilience. Ó kọ́ wọn pé wọ́n lè fi ọwọ́ ṣiṣẹ́. Ó rí àkẹ́rí ọmọ Mayflower ẹni tó kàwé tán ní Mayflower kó jẹ́ ọ̀lẹ. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ò níṣẹ́. Ó rí à nítorí láti school nínú school ni wo nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe wà. Wọ́n máa ṣe bread tó ń jẹ. Ẹran tó máa jẹ lóstẹ̀l àwọn ló ń sìn. Wọ́n ti pín wọn ẹdìyẹ tó máa jẹ àwọn ló ń sìn. Àwọn ló máa lọ fẹ́ndìyẹ ló ń jẹ. Àwọn ló máa. So it was a real settlement. Everything tí wọ́n ní ìdìpátá ẹlẹ́dẹ̀ whatever. So ọ̀pọ̀ mo mọ̀ nínú wọn tó jẹ́ pé ó ní iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe léni agriculturist ni ó ní school ló ti ní ó rò pé òun láìka ti ṣe nígbà tó dẹ̀ ṣe tán ní school tó kàwé ó lọ sí university iṣẹ́ yẹn ló wà kan race piggery goatry àwọn cattle areas nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe nìyẹn. A ní wọn tó jẹ́ pé bakers ni wọ́n aláwọ̀ tó jẹ́ pé fishers ni wọ́n tí wọ́n ní pond tí wọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ la náà professionals láàrin wọn. Oh my God, professionals, good ones, highly successful professionals as ex-maids. You see them in high places, you see them in good places. They are all over Nigeria. But one good thing about them, many of them, at least 75% of them, come back to give back to the school. Yes.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí Yorùbá á jẹ́ pé gbogbo tẹ́ sọ sílẹ̀ yìí ẹ̀yin àgbà náà lè sọ pé ọmọ tí ẹ̀yà bá bí ẹ̀yà ní í jọ. Ó túmọ̀ sí pé bóyá àwọn nǹkan tí bàbá ti fi sílẹ̀ láti tó ti fi ṣe ìpínlẹ̀ láti ilẹ̀ ọ̀hún náà ni àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí náà ni wọ́n ń ṣe títí di ìgbà yẹn. Ọpẹ́ ni fún Ọlọ́run tí a rí yín tá a bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ ní òní yìí pàápàá jùlọ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tí wọ́n pè wá. Àwọn èèyàn máa ń pariwo x-me 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 àwọn wo ló ń pè ní x-me gangan mà.
Àwọn x-me ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ excuse me àwọn schools bíi titiwa wọ́n ní old students but ní Mayflower wọn ń lo old student wọ́n ní x-mays that is ex-Mayflower students bẹ́ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ṣé ń wo x-may yẹn ó jọ wọn lójú gan-an wọ́n fi ṣeré orúkọ yẹn wọ́n fi ṣeré tán bá rí ẹnikẹ́ni tó súnmọ́ tòsí láti bà orúkọ yẹn jẹ́ ẹ máa rí wọn tí wọ́n máa jà gan wọ́n fi ṣe x-may wọ́n fi ṣeré. Àwọn là ń pè ní x-mays àwọn tí wọ́n ti kàwé ń bí tí wọ́n kàwé ọdún 6 ìgbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọdún 5 ọdún 5 la fi ń kàwé ní secondary school a máa ń ka forms 1 to form 5 nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ education policy of 6-3-3-4 ló di pé à ń lo ọdún 6 ní secondary school so iye wọn tó lo ọdún 6 níbí báyìí tí wọ́n jáde àwọn ló ń jẹ́ x-may tí wọ́n bá kàwé tí wọ́n ṣe WAEC bí ni o àwọn là ń pè ní x-may àwọn tí wọ́n ti kàwé níbí
tí wọ́n kàwé yege tó jáde ní ìpele àṣekágbá yẹn náà ni wọ́n pè ní x-may.
ìyẹn ní senior school bí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ní junior school àwọn tó ka JSS 1 to JSS 3 náà wọ́n ti parí school tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ they are equally x-mays torí pé wọ́n ti parí college tí wọ́n níbẹ̀ yẹn so níbí náà college ọdún 3 yẹn náà so wọ́n wà kákàkiri many of them ìkànnì wọn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pé 70 years ní April 5. Yes, I want to use this opportunity to celebrate our own son, father, and ex-may, Professor Bishop Tunde Solarin. Professor Tunde Solarin. He turned 70 on the 5th of April, and he's a philanthropist. He's an international figure when it comes to mathematics. He's a mathematics guru, particularly in mental sums. Tẹ́bá return on ṣe cowbell, mathematics competition. Iṣẹ́ bàbá nìyẹn. Wọ́n ti wá síbí, wá train àwọn ọmọ. So many medical doctors. Lè kà wọ́n tán. Mo ṣìrántí ẹyọkùn Dr. Omole, he lives abroad. So many of them, Dr. Adegbite, so many medical doctors. Me really at the first so in terms of iṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe. So we have some of them as retired principals. We have them also in education. In fact, we have them àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ proprietors, entrepreneurs, tí wọ́n ní school tí wọ́n títí dé secondary school level. God blessed the founder, late Dr. Solarin. Ọlọ́run bù sí iṣẹ́ tó ṣe pàápàá nínú ayé àwọn ọmọ yẹn. Presently, I continue trend yẹn as a public school. Bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, àwọn tó ṣe tán bí ní year 2023 last year, we have over 100 of them in the universities already.
Ó tún kù báyìí náà nìgbọ́rọ̀ ṣe mọ̀ pé ní bá ṣe rere ara yóò ròyìn ẹ̀ sí dáadáa kò ní yà wá lẹ́nu pé ẹni tó jẹ́ ọ̀gá àgbà pátá ní iléèwé Mayflower school tó jẹ́ junior school ǹjẹ́ jẹ́ mọ̀ pé ìkan nínú àwọn x-may ni ìyẹn ni pé nínú àwọn tí wọ́n ti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gboyè jáde ní inú iléèwé Mayflower school ìlú Ìkẹ́nnẹ́lì. abáwọn náà sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn náà ṣàìrí ohun wí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ bàbá Táíwò Solarin àti iléèwé Mayflower school Ìkẹ́nnẹ́ ohun tí bàbá náà tún sọ rèé.
orúkọ mi ni Ọ̀ṣìnàmẹ̀ Olúgbòmí Ládàpọ̀ tí mo jẹ́ ọ̀gá iléèwé Mayflower school tí àwọn iléèwé pè ní junior section ní Ìkẹ́nnẹ́. Yàtọ̀ sí yẹn náà mo tún jẹ́ ẹni tó jáde tó kàwé jáde nílé ìwé yìí Adamini school students pẹ̀lú nọ́mbà 3853.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí n bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ibẹ̀. Inú mi dùn nítorí wípé ibi à ń lọ gangan ibẹ̀ náà ni adé yìí ẹ̀yin àgbàlẹ̀ sọ pé kò sẹ́ni tó máa ń mọ̀ ọ́ pọ̀ bíi ti ọlọ́mọ nígbà tí ẹ jẹ́ ẹni tó ti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ jáde ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ kọ́kọ́ dárúkọ nọ́mbà kan nọ́mbà tẹ́ ẹ dárúkọ yìí kí ni ó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn tó kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ jáde ní.
ṣùgbọ́n ní Mayflower yìí tí a bá ti ń wọlé tó gbà wá sí ilé ìwé yìí nọ́mbà ti fi fún wa ní nọ́mbà yẹn so nọ́mbà yẹn tí mo pè ní 3853 yẹn nọ́mbà yẹn náà fún mi nígbà tí mo wọlé ìwé yìí.
ọdún wo lẹ wọlé sà.
mo wọlé ní 1977.
1977 ó túmọ̀ sí pé kódà gan kò tí ì pé bóyá bíi 30 ọdún tí wọ́n ti dálé ẹ̀kọ́ yẹn lẹ̀.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bẹ́ẹ̀ kò tí ì pé bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí 1956 ní adálé ìwé rẹ̀.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni èyí sì wọlé ní 1977 ọdún wo ni ẹ wá wà gẹ́gẹ́ bíi principal ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ yìí.
a ti ṣe káàkiri ṣùgbọ́n gbàtàn gbé mi wá síbí gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórí olùkọ́ ní ibi ó jẹ́ year 2000 àsìkò tí covid ń kẹ́sẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ yẹn ni
tó kẹ́sẹ̀ ńlẹ̀
wọ́n gbogbo wọn wá sí
2020 lọ́dún tí covid ń kásẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ ó ti ń bọ́ sí bóyá bí ìparí ọdún ní 2020 ńgbà náà.
nígbà yẹn alọ́lé alọ́mọgbọ́n tí ṣùgbọ́n tó máa ṣí lè padà ni wọ́n gbé mi wá síbi gẹ́gẹ́ bí principal. bàbá sì kéré ńgbà yẹn lákòó bá lẹ́nu àwọn senior wa ńgbà yẹn ni làánú ọ̀dẹ́ mú pé kò sẹ́ni tó máa pè lójú ẹ o. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gbogbo alámọ̀ ńgbà náà kò sẹ́ni máa pè. àmọ́ ní tó ṣe ń pè wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ kó tá a ba lẹ́nu wọn ní Ìbàdàn ṣe títí dìsìn gan wọ́n ṣe ń pè wọ́n ní bàbá Táṣẹ́rẹ́ yẹn.
kí wàá lẹ lè sọ nípa bàbá Táṣẹ́ tó jẹ́ pé olóògbé Solarin.
ẹ ṣe gan ni èmi ò ní àǹfààní púpọ̀ sẹ́ẹ̀tì wa lọ sísàlẹ̀ a lè àǹfààní láti bá wọn ṣe pọ̀ nítorí sẹ́ẹ̀tì wa yẹn ìgbà tí sẹ́ẹ̀tì wa fẹ́ wọlé òun ni wọ́n gbélé ìbílẹ̀ fún Ogun state government wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wọ́n gbé iléèwé lẹ́fún government àwa wọlé so àwọn orílẹ̀ ìjọ ṣe pọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn nǹkan kan tó ṣe lẹ̀ ó sì fresh nígbà yẹn adébá àwọn nǹkan kan tó ṣe lẹ̀ adébá ṣe sísọ yẹn ní mo lè ní ẹ̀kọ́ kan wọ́n máa ń wá kí wa a máa ń ṣe program kan ní ìjọ sunday wọ́n pe program yẹn ní community gathering program yẹn ní sunday yẹn nǹkan tá a máa ṣe ni pé èyí tí àwọn skulu mi ta fi lọ sí ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì wọ́n ṣe kí ní ìyàwó ń lọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì so a máa gbàtà bá ti jẹun àárọ̀ tán a máa wọnú hall lọ gbogbo a máa wọnú hall lọ white àti green wa àwọn obìnrin check green àwọn máa wọ̀ a lọ sínú hall so ibẹ̀ náà tí bàbá máa ti wá bá a sọ̀rọ̀ láti ilé wọ́n máa bá a sọ̀rọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá sí ọmọ so ibẹ̀ náà ni a ti ní
ìbáṣepọ̀ pẹ̀lú wọn.
ṣùgbọ́n ìyàwó wọn tá a mọ̀ sí Sheila nígbà tí àwa dé bígbà yẹn opposite over as vice principal.
ó túmọ̀ sí pé ìyàwó wọn náà olùkọ́ ni wọ́n.
olùkọ́ ni ìyàwó wọn.
àwọn náà dẹ̀ wá ń ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìjọba.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni
tí wọ́n fi lè post wọn wá.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni
ẹ tẹ̀síwájú sà.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni so láti Ìkẹ́nnẹ́ committee ló ti gbé wọn wá ń gbà yẹn sí Mayflower so wọ́n at as VP so àwọn labá ṣe díẹ̀ gbọ́ nǹkan tí mo kàn mọ́ nípa ìyàwó wọn ni pé Sheila ò fẹ́ mẹ́lẹ́ very very agile níbi tó wà jáde especially lórí àwọn ọmọbìnrin yẹn ẹlòmíràn ní mọ̀gbà tó dẹ́yìn ẹ̀ tó máa mú àbàrà látẹ̀yìn work be smart àtijọ́ dẹ́yìn ẹ̀ tẹ̀kíní kan wà ń gbà yẹn o màmá ní ajá kan tẹ bá ti rí ajá yẹn kẹmọ̀ pé màmá wà tó sí yín ni tẹ bá ti rí ajá yẹn kẹmọ̀ pé màmá ó wà tó sókun má dẹ̀ra lẹ̀ kẹmọ̀ pé màmá wà tó sí nìyẹn because kò sí bẹ́ẹ̀ tí màá rájà yẹn tẹ́ ní rí màmá.
nígbà náà làwa wò pé ṣé bí ìlú kì í wà kókú má lò lórí bó bá wá lò lórí ṣe bá ṣàlàwọn tí olórí ṣe olórí lé lórí àwọn tí wọ́n ti kàwé gboyè láti inú iléèwé Mayflower school Ìkẹ́nnẹ́ tó jẹ́ wípé láìsí Mayflower school bóyá ayé ìbá tiẹ̀ má mọ̀ wọ́n o tí wọ́n ti ṣoríire tí wọ́n ti làmì láàka nínú Mayflower school Ìkẹ́nnẹ́ tó jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n gbagbórin rẹ̀ kọjá àtúbà ọ̀gá wọn pátápátá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tó jẹ́ president of the Alumni Association Mayflower School Ìkẹ́nnẹ́ Mr. Wale Abdul táwọn fìlú Èkó tí wọ́n fi ṣe bùgbé. Ká tó wá lọ gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu Mr. Wale Abdul ẹjẹ́ ń fi tó wa létí pé arákùnrin abẹ̀ṣẹ́kù bí òjò ìyẹn AJ Anthony Joshua fúnra rẹ̀ jẹ́jẹ́ mọ̀ pé inú Mayflower School Ìkẹ́nnẹ́ ló ti ṣe tán o ó panilẹ́rìn òun náà kúkú lọ sí Mayflower School. Àwọn ọmọ tó ti ṣoríire làmìlaka lágbàáyé wọ́n ti jáde nílùú Mayflower School nílùú Ìkẹ́nnẹ́. Lára wọn ó lẹ́ni tó jẹ́ former head of service of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Ọládàpọ̀ Àfọlábí Mayflower School ni wọ́n lọ. Ẹni tó tún jẹ́ founder ìyẹn bàbá wa tó dá Deeper Life Church sílẹ̀ tí a mọ̀ sí bàbá William Kumuyi àwọn náà gba gbórin Mayflower School kọjá wọ́n lọ sílé ìwé náà. Òǹṣeré ni tí ń tún máa ń kọrin tí gbogbo jẹ́ gbajúgbajà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀ káàkiri Dayọ̀ Amusa jẹ́jẹ́ mọ̀ pé òun náà lọ sí Mayflower School nílùú Ìkẹ́nnẹ́. Òṣèlú àgbà tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀ Richard Bámisílé àwọn náà kúkú lọ sí Mayflower School. Bàbá Túnjí Dìísù tó jọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá nígbà kan rí jẹ́jẹ́ mọ̀ pé àwọn náà lọ sí Mayflower School nílùú Ìkẹ́nnẹ́. Oríṣiríṣi wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ikán nínú àwọn ọmọ olóríire tí wọ́n ti làmìlaka tí wọn ò tiẹ̀ gbèlú Nàìjíríà tó jọ Australia ni wọ́n fi ṣe bùgbé. Orúkọ wọn a máa jẹ́ Mr. Délé Babalọ́lá. Àwọn ti ṣe ìwé lórí bàbá Táíwò Solarin. Àwọn ìwé wọn yìí a lè ríra káàkiri jákèjádò ibi tí wọ́n ti ń tàwé ní Nàìjíríà o. Orúkọ ìwé náà lẹ́ ń wò ní ojú ìwòran yín yìí. Wọ́n náà lè ríra ní ibi tí wọ́n ti ń tàwé ní Jericho nílùú Ìbàdàn. Bákan náà ni pé ìyẹn ní University Press a lè ríra ń bẹ̀. A lè ríra ní University of Ibadan bookshop a lè ríra ń bẹ̀ o. A sì lè ríra káàkiri àwọn ibi tí wọ́n ti ń ta ìwé àwọn bùdó káàkiri. Ẹ̀yin ẹ sá béèrè wípé ìtàn lórí bàbá Táíwò Solarin èyí tí Mr. Délé Babalọ́lá kọ òun náà ni ẹ fẹ́ rí o òun lẹ fẹ́ rà ẹ máa bá wọn rà. Àwọn ìwé tẹ̀ ń wò ní ojú ìwòran wa yìí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Délé Babalọ́lá ìkan nínú àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n ti làmìlaka tí wọ́n kàwé jáde kàwé gboyè ní ilé-ìwé Mayflower School nílùú Ìkẹ́nnẹ́ tí àwọn wá fìlú Australia ṣe bùgbé. Àwọn ni wọ́n kọ ìwé yìí gbogbo èèyàn tó sì kà á ni wọ́n ń pariwo wípé ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́gbọ́n onílàákàyè òun arákùnrin fi gbé ìwé náà jù sílẹ̀ o. Ṣùgbọ́n lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí àjọ tó jẹ́ àgbáríjọ ẹgbẹ́ àwọn tí wọ́n ti kàwé kọjá tí wọ́n ti kàwé gboyè nílùú Mayflower School àwọn náà kúkú lólórí o. Ẹni tó jó lórí àjọ náà tá a mọ̀ sí president of the Alumni Association ìlú Èkó làwọn fi ṣe bùgbé. Àwọn náà ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n fẹ́ bá wa sọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ bàbá Táíwò Solarin. Mr. Wale Abdul ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n sọ rèé o.
mi ni ex-may Wale Abdul ex-may ibẹ̀ kò ṣe orúkọ tí gbogbo àwa ta lọ sí Mayflower School ta kàwé bẹ́ẹ̀ ta dẹ̀ jáde níbẹ̀ ta ń tọ́ ex-Mayflower wọn máa pè ní ex-may. So ẹni tí àdàbàdẹ ṣe event tá a ṣe program tó jọmọ́ ti Mayflower tá a dẹ̀ fẹ́ introduce ara wa láàrin ara wa a máa ń lo ex-may. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ pé ó lé Mayflower School láti máa ń lo ex-may as a previous to our name. Anyway tá a bá ti dé tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe àwọn àgbẹ̀ ẹni ìfẹ́ jọjọ́ ẹ̀ tí mo mọ̀ can you introduce yourself? And I'll be, my name is Esme. So we go very clear, Esme Wale Abdul. Mo wà ní Mayflower School ní 1994.
1994.
Sorry. Láti mo wà ní Mayflower ìyẹn ti ẹ̀kọ́ gíga ti Mayflower ní 1989.
1989.
Ṣetán ní 1994 gbàdá ṣe after West Africa Examination Council standardized WAEC in 1994. Àwọn wájú nígbà tá a jáde ní May June 1994 lórí àwa kan ṣẹmọ WAEC exam yẹn wọn ṣe ti June ní àwọn the last set of our last student of our own set of 1994. then bàbá wa Oloogbe náà ó jáde láyé ní July 27, 1994. So bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ pé àwa ní
ẹ̀yin gangan báyìí ẹni àbígbẹ̀yìn
bàbá tí bàbá báyìí kúrò ní Mayflower ju school ni bàbá náà kúrò láyé. So ìyẹn bẹ́ẹ̀. So ní Mayflower náà I would say my student number is 7428. Méje mẹ́rin méjì mẹ́jọ ni student number mi. So wọn náà fi máa ń dára mọ̀. Student number yẹn is attached to one student, and there is no one student that have more than one. There is no student that have more than one student number, and there is no two students that have one student number. Kí ni yẹn mi pé kò sí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kan tó ní nọ́mbà méjì, kò lè sí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ méjì tó ní nọ́mbà kan, so nọ́mbà kan akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kan ni, so it's for life ni. So
ẹ jẹ́ kí n wá wọlé báyìí. Inú mi dùn pé ibi tẹ́ gbé mi lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ni ìgbà tẹ́ wọlé ẹ̀kọ́ àti ìgbà tí ẹ parí ilé ẹ̀kọ́ lọ́dún 1994 tẹ́ parí ẹ̀ ó jẹ́ àsìkò tí bàbá tó jáde láyé. Ẹ̀yin gangan ni àbígbẹ̀ ni bàbá la kà sí bẹ̀ torí ó pé 30 ọdún tẹ̀yin náà ti jáde nílé ẹ̀kọ́ Mayflower lọ́dún yìí, ó tún pé 30 ọdún lọ́dún yìí náà tí bàbá jáde láyé. Kí lẹ lè sọ níwọ̀nba ọdún márùn-ún ọdún mẹ́fà tẹ́ ẹ lò ní Mayflower school yìí, kí lẹ lè sọ nípa bàbá Solarin?
Apparently, thank you very much. Mo rọ́ọ̀dì sọ fún yín tẹ́lẹ̀. A ní ilé ti ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kékeré tó gbé primary school. Ibẹ̀ náà mo tún lọ náà. Ibẹ̀ náà lẹ lọ. So from 1984 mo join wọn níbẹ̀. Mo ṣetán ní 1988/89 wọ́n fi bọ́ sí ti ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gíga. So ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa náà wà dá lọ sí ti ilé ẹ̀kọ́ kékeré ń bẹ̀ àtúwọ́ sí ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga. So I've known Baba, not only Baba with his wife, that is Madam Sheila Solarin, from 1984 tí a fi jáde ní 1994. Tàbá tún lọ síbẹ̀ náà láti lọ ṣe program àtúmọ̀rí Madam náà. So I would say I've known Solarin from 1990 for almost 10 years that I stayed in the Mayflower community. Ẹni ọgbà Mayflower ọmọ fún ọdún mẹ́wàá gbáko. So why in Mayflower school bàbá jẹ́ nìkan tẹ́ pé àwọn òbí wọ́n ní respect fún bàbá gan-an. Ẹgbẹ́ àwọn òbí fẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ lọ sí ilé ìwé Mayflower school kí bàbá lè bá wọn mójútó àwọn, bàbá lè kọ́ àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀bí bàbá wà very disciplinary. Bàbá ò gbàgbàkúgbà. Bàbá kẹ̀lé ló tún jẹ́ bàbá tẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ tó bá jáde láti ọ̀dọ̀ wọn kọ́ lè dá dúró fún ara wọn. That's what we call education for self-reliance. That you can rely on yourself, so you don't need anybody to make it in life. So bàbá tẹ̀ tún jẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ ó tún fún everybody nígbà pé tó bá tẹ̀ ẹ̀ríṣẹ́ ṣe lè dá dúró láyé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Yeah, so whereby you can go into farming, we have a lot of society, the poultry, piggery, the farming, the home economics, the literary debating, the engineering, so a lot of departments that tí wọ́n ta máa ń ṣe níbẹ̀ tẹ́bí ó tó bá jẹjọ́ wájú kó tó lè fi dá dúró láàrin láyé ti tọ̀dọ̀ tiẹ̀. Then bàbá tó jẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ jẹ́ kí gbogbo àwọn tó bá wà lọ́dọ̀ òun tó lọ sílé òun gẹ́gẹ́ àwọn ẹ̀ pé result wọn at the end of the day á jẹ́ result ẹ̀ pé wọ́n máa lè fi wọ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga yẹn university. So bàtà wà ń bẹ̀ bàbá máa lọ gba result gbogbo àwọn school bí àwọn federal government college àwọn unity school a máa compare pẹ̀lú result Mayflower láti wò pé àwọn bí tí àwọn ìjọba náwó sí jù kọ́ wo result wọn kọ́ wo result àwa tí ìjọba really náwó sọ́dọ̀ wa jù pé kìíní láti motivate us from doing very well. Bàbá ò gbàgbàkúgbà bàbá Kẹ́rìmọ́ tó ń jẹ́ bàbá tẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ tó bá jáde láti ọ̀dọ̀ wọn kọ́ lè dá dúró fún ara wọn. That's what we call education for self-reliance, that you can rely on yourself, so you don't need anybody to make it in life. So bàbá tẹ̀ tó jẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ ó tún fún everybody nígbà pé tó bá tẹ̀ ẹ̀dúkẹ́ ṣe ìdádúró láti ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Yeah, so whereby you can go into farming, we have a lot of society, the poultry, piggery, the farming, the home economics, the literary debating, the engineering, so a lot of departments that they tí wọ́n ta máa ń ṣe níbẹ̀ tẹ́bí ó tó bá dẹjọ́ wájú kó tó lè fi dá dúró láàrin láyé ti ìtọ̀nà tiẹ̀ tẹ bàbá tó jẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ jẹ́ kí gbogbo àwọn tó bá wà lọ́dọ̀ òun tó lọ sílé òun gẹ́gẹ́ àwọn pé result wọn at the end of the day á jẹ́ result ẹ̀ pé wọ́n máa lè fi wọ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga yẹn university. So bàtà wà ń bẹ̀ bàbá máa lọ gba result gbogbo àwọn school bí àwọn federal government college àwọn unity school a máa compare pẹ̀lú result Mayflower láti wò pé àwọn bí tí àwọn ìjọba náwó sí jù kọ́wọ́ result wọn kọ́wọ́ result àwa tí ìjọba really náwó sọ́dọ̀ wa jù pé kìíní láti motivate us from doing very well. Aládùúgbò lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ọ̀tá kọ́ńdà táwa bẹ́ẹ̀ náà gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ó jẹ́ àṣeyọrí fún wa ní ìdẹ́wọ́n náà gbogbo àná fi ń tẹ̀síwájú.
ẹ̀yin náà yí mú mi lọ sí ìbéèrè kejì tí mo fẹ́ mú bẹ́ẹ̀ inú mi dẹ̀ ti dùn pé ẹ ti mẹ́nu bà wípé ṣe ẹ rí àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan lára bàbá àti lára ilé ẹ̀kọ́ yìí tó tún sì ń jẹ́ àǹfààní fún yín títí di ìsinyìí lẹ́yìn ọgbọ̀n ọdún tẹ̀tí kúrò léwe.
bẹ́ẹ̀ a lot number one ibẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ lọ sí Mayflower o máa open door but many times when you have many of us old students that go for interview that travel and you are fortunate to have any ex-student of Mayflower school on the panel, and by looking at your CV that you went to Mayflower school ọ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ yìí ó ní àmì tó dá lára káwọn ẹlòmíràn ní ó ní àmì tó lè ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa yẹn one two ó tún jẹ́ ìgbọ́lá òyìnbó wọn pè ní networking ìrẹ́pẹ́ yìí to be able to network láti mọ èèyàn but we have a lot of Mayflower students in various places tẹ̀gbẹ́ ọ̀dọ̀ Mayflower lọ ilé ìwé Sheila lábílẹ̀ ìta Solarin ó ti open door ó jẹ́ ìkọ́jẹ́ àǹfààní ìyẹn náà làtàwà náà ní ó jẹ́ ká náà fi wò pé we have to also be able to give back to the school.
Yes sir mọ̀ bínú now let us go to the exme terms of it. What has been the essence, the impact of exme ipe èèyàn kàwé tán àtẹ̀kàwé tán adẹ̀kùn ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ kí ni impact exme ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ Mayflower yìí láti gbà yìí.
ẹ ṣe. Now, if you go to Mayflower school today and you compare the work iṣẹ́ takuntakun táwọn student àwọn tó lè jáde Mayflower tó lè ṣe sí Mayflower ìfẹ́ ìlú kò sí iléèwé mi ní Nàìjíríà yìí tó lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. If you get to Mayflower today, if not because of the impact of the old students, Mayflower could be what's it called? Actually, only to do with me. Every year, the ex-students at the also the competition scene. Àfẹ́sílára wa tó a set kílásẹ̀ tá a jáde ní ibẹ̀ lọ́dún kọ̀ọ̀kan tá a fẹ́ ṣe jura wa lọ pé àwọn lè ṣe lé alọ́gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe jù wọ́n lọ. We have those students tọ́jú kọ́ àìmọ̀ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ fáwọn students. We have those students tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n kọ́ tó library ṣe. We have those student classes tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n kúra computer. Wọ́n sanwó teachers wọ́n kọ́ all on the name of Solarin. You have Solarin all that have the capacity of over 1,500 people that can use the place. Tẹ́lẹ̀ àwọn old student àwọn àti láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ àwọn student tó ti wọlé sí Mayflower tí di ìgbà yẹn lọ kọ́ all yẹn. In days of Solarin nígbà tá a wà ń bẹ̀ Naturally, man, there is no indispensable man. Ìdájọ́ kò sí irú èlò ọ̀pọ̀ irú ọlọ́run nìkan kò sí. The impact of Solarin in Mayflower School cannot be overemphasized. It can't be overemphasized. Ṣẹ́bọ̀ bí Solarin fúnra rẹ̀ ọkùnrin mẹ́wàá ọkùnrin ogun ni. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ pé àwọn òbí wọ́n fẹ́ kí Solarin ló máa tọ́ ọmọ àwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe. So though a lè fìgbà yẹn náà wí àmọ́ àwa old student náà la mọ nǹkan tí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe rí báyìí náà la ń tiraka láti gbogbo ọ̀dà láti ṣe tó sì máa dàbí nígbà tí Solarin àti ẹ̀mílẹ̀ ìyàwó ẹ̀ madam Solarin tó wà láyé wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ Mayflower rí gbogbo àná ló wá sọ pé báyìí ní Mayflower pé àwọn ẹ̀yin student Mayflower belongs to you student so it's your school. It's based on how you want the school to be that will be. That's why gbogbo akitiyan tí gbogbo student tá a ṣe tá à ń kọ́ hostel tá à ń kọ́ classroom tá à ń kọ́ clinic tá à ń kọ́ canteen fún wọn tá à ń kọ́ teachers quarter tá à ń ṣe electrification kí wọ́n lè wà níbẹ̀ tá à ń fún wọn laptop tá à ń sanwó teachers wọn tá à ń ṣe everything tá à ń kọ́ all tá à ń ṣe wẹ̀ tá à ń is so that the school image reporting to be stronger. Adult máa túbọ̀ tẹ̀síwájú sí ju bí bàbá nígbà tí bàbá wà ní ayé. Láwọn school management náà àwọn náà fún wa ní support that is required that those go through the principal as well. So mo lè sọ pé ṣe wà nígbà yẹn ni àmọ́ à ń tiraka pé kó jáde ìgbà tó wà yìí lọ.
tó ẹ̀yin tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀ ń béèrè ìbéèrè yẹn òun náà lè ti gbọ́ nígbà yẹn ní bíi 30 years ago ọgbọ̀n ọdún sẹ́yìn bàbá Solarin ní ẹgbẹ́ kan lání àmọ́ nìsín àti ná wọn Solarin tó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. wọ́n wá fẹ́ béèrè kan sàrà àwọn èèyàn mi wọ́n béèrè ìbéèrè tí àfikún dání láti wá béèrè ìbéèrè lọ́wọ́ bí bàbá bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe ń gbà yìí tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n mọ bàbá Solarin kódà ọmọ wọn sọ pé ó kù bí ọjọ́ mélòó kan tí bàbá máa jásẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ayé tí wọ́n máa papòdà wípé wọ́n tún sì ṣe ìwọ́de kan tí wọ́n rìn bíi kìlómítà mélòó kan ǹjẹ́ àṣìríyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ alákìkangbìyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà báyìí.
ìyẹn ó ṣòro láti dáhùn because kárí bàbá sì wà láyé ni gbogbo ilé paráàlú eléyìí ṣe tọ̀wọ́ ṣe bàbá gan ti jáde wọ́n ti sọ̀rọ̀ nínú ìwé ìròyìn lórí tẹlifíṣàn wọ́n ti sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo àwọn oníwèé ìròyìn gan àwọn ti tẹlifíṣàn all the media whatever àwọn gan ló máa tó bàbá lọ láti gbọ́ láti ọdún bàbá kí ló rí sílẹ̀ kí ló rí sí yẹn bàbá gan méjèèjì bàbá gan wọ́n ti wọ́de láti make sure pé ẹ̀tọ́ àwọn ará ìlú ó jẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ tí ó tẹ̀ wọ́n ní ọwọ́. That's why Baba, that's what he stands for, that's what he stood for when he was alive, and that's what he died for. That's why nígbà tí ohun tí òṣèlú náà lọ́wọ́ wà ní Yaba, the rally from Yaba tó ṣe tọ́ tí tí bàbá padà sí ilé ní Kẹ́lẹ́ ní bàbá jẹ́jẹ́ tó jẹ́ wọ́n ní àsọwọ́ àsántì ní crisis yẹn dé fún bàbá tí ọlọ́jọ́ fi wọn. So bàbá jà fún ẹ̀tọ́ ará ìlú ó jà fún ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọ ènìyàn and he is someone that pay for every struggle that everybody is doing. Baba's name will always be there. That's what orúkọ bàbá gan kò ṣe parẹ́. When you marry to anybody pé ilé ìwé Solarin Mayflower school Solarin school Mayflower school Solarin school Solarin dàbí àwọn àjà fún ọmọ ará ìlú ní bàbá jẹ́. So people are trying to be ní bàbá ń ṣe gbogbo bàbá ò fẹ́ political appointment bàbá ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ olóyè bàbá ò fẹ́ gbé kọ́ gbórúkọ òun ká ṣe everything pé bàbá ń ṣàpè kínní yìí nǹkan tẹ́ni láti ṣe fara ìlú ẹ̀jẹ̀ láti ṣe ní nǹkan tí bàbá tó ń ṣe tọ́lẹ̀ ń jà fún.
wọ́n túmọ̀ sí pé àìtí ìrèyàn tó ń wó wípé wọ́n kàn ń gbìyànjú ni wọ́n ní àwọn ètò bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bí a ṣe wá rí gbogbo ẹ̀ ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ yìí àti ipa tí bàbá Tai Solarin tí wọ́n ti kó sílẹ̀ báyìí kí lẹ́yìn wá rò wípé pẹ̀lú gbogbo ìgbìyànjú bàbá Tai Solarin ọ̀nà owó ló jẹ́ kí wọ́n gbé gbà pàápàá jùlọ ètò ẹ̀kọ́ àti ètò bí a ṣe lè sọra wá di òmìnira gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìròyìn tá a gbọ́ àti ohun tẹ́yìn náà fi tó wa létí nìsín pé bàbá Tai Solarin á jẹ́ kí ètò ẹ̀kọ́ máa wà ó wọ́n ní gbogbo nǹkan tẹ̀yìn jẹ ní iléèwé ńgbà náà inú iléèwé lẹ ti ń ṣe títí kan búrẹ́dì inú iléèwé lẹ ti máa ṣe wọ́n ní kódà ẹ máa ń ya àwọn ọjọ́ kan sọ́tọ̀ bóyá ẹ máa ń pè ní bóyá àyájọ́ pamọ́ra nǹkan bá kan pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn nǹkan yìí ǹjẹ́ ẹ lérò pé ó yẹ kí àwọn ìjọba kí wọ́n ẹ̀kọ́ wo lẹ lérò wípé kí wọ́n kọ́ látara àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ́yìn náà ti kọ́ tẹ́ ẹ fi wá di èèyàn báyìí.
Number one, I think the syllabus of the education only láti tútù wò ẹ ó máa lè fi àǹfààní lẹ̀ fún àwọn students láti lè máa kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ lẹ́gbẹ́ ó lè fi dá dúró fún ara wọn lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la. Those are the things that will benefit from. In those days gbà yẹn every Tuesday ọ̀dà ìṣẹ́gun tó yẹn ìṣẹ́gun láyé sí ọjọ́ tẹ́gbẹ́ gbogbo wa máa lọ sí different society that belongs to ta máa lọ fún yìí ta máa lọ kọ́ ọ ní ṣe nǹkan yẹn tó bá wà ní Babi society Tuesday tó bá wà ní poultry what's it called piggery agriculture home economics gbogbo wa máa lọ síbẹ̀ láti lọ kọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ yẹn so ó jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa lè mọ̀ pé tó bá jáde yunifásitì tábàtẹ̀ ríṣẹ́ ṣe a lè máa fi kọ́ ní ṣiṣẹ́.
Yorùbá bọ̀ wọ́n ní bọ́kọ̀ bá rògbò bó bá lọ̀sà á padà forí sẹ́lẹ̀ṣẹ̀ èbúté náà láti dé yìí o àwa náà nìkan BGI TV bàbá gbàgede mọ̀ tẹlifíṣàn gbogbo wa panupọ̀ a fi ṣe àdúrà fún bàbá Tai Solarin wípé máa sùn láyà olùgbàlà àdéhùn bàbá Tai Solarin á pàdé lẹ́sẹ̀ olùgbàlà níjọ́ kan o á pàdé lẹ́sẹ̀ Jésù nígbà kan níbi tí a ò ní yára wa mọ́ á ríra wa á sì yọ̀ mọ́ra wa Jésù náà ni ó ṣe alága ní ọjọ́ náà dídùn ní ìrántí olódodo. Mr. Babalọlá Délé o àwọn ni wọ́n ń ṣe olùgbọ̀wọ́ ètò tẹ̀ ń wò yìí tí a ṣe ní àkànṣe 30 ọdún tí bàbá Tai Solarin tí wọ́n ti kọlẹ̀ sùn tí wọ́n ti filẹ̀ ṣàṣọ̀bọ̀ra. Bàbá wa Délé Babalọlá ẹ kéré òkú délé lágbára Ọlọ́run oníyanṣẹ́ lákàṣe o gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá wa wò bóyí náà là dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ Aláwìyé Adébáyọ̀ Sàmúrì ọmọ bàbá tíṣà lábẹ́kúta ẹni tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ ni mò ń fàsìkò yìí kí wa wípé láyọ̀